Favoritism in the workplace rarely starts with bad intentions. It usually starts with fear of conflict, fear of disappointing people, fear of losing loyalty, or fear of letting go of control. And that's why favoritism becomes so dangerous. Because what looks like kindness on the surface creates dysfunction underneath. Most leaders think favoritism is about personality. It's not. It's about systems failure. And that may sound harsh, but stay with me here. When businesses lack clear expectations, measurable standards, and healthy communication structures, leaders begin making decisions emotionally instead of strategically. And emotional leadership creates inconsistency. One employee gets away with behavior others would never survive. One family member gets promoted despite weak performance, or one person becomes untouchable. And everyone notices, especially your best employees. The irony is that favoritism often grows in businesses where leaders genuinely care about people. But caring without clarity creates confusion. I've seen businesses where a founder says, "We're like family here." That's very common to hear. And at first, that sounds wonderful until accountability disappears. Because in healthy families, people grow. In unhealthy systems, people enable. Big difference. And one of the most important lessons I've learned is this: businesses drift toward what leaders tolerate. If gossip is tolerated, gossip grows. If inconsistency is tolerated, resentment grows. If favoritism is tolerated, trust dies quietly on the vine. And trust is everything. In fact, my research on entrepreneurial leadership found that effective leaders cultivate high performance cultures built on relationships, trust, and systems integration, not favoritism, not avoidance, not politics, trust. But trust requires fairness. And fairness doesn't mean treating everyone identically. It means applying standards consistently. Now, here's where this gets uncomfortable. Sometimes leaders unconsciously play favorites because it protects their identity. The loyal employee who never challenges them feels safer than the competent employee who asks hard questions. The family member who agrees with everything feels easier than the outsider bringing fresh ideas. But businesses that prioritize comfort over capability eventually stagnate. I often compare this to rhythm. When I was younger, I became fascinated by watching skilled pinball players. The best ones didn't react emotionally to every movement. They understood rhythm, timing, flow. Businesses work the same way. Healthy organizations have a rhythm: clear communication, clear accountability, clear decision making, clear expectations. Favoritism interrupts rhythm. Suddenly, employees stop focusing on contribution and start focusing on politics. And once politics enter the system, energy shifts. People become cautious instead of creative, protective instead of collaborative, quiet instead of innovative. That's expensive to your bottom line, especially in family businesses where unresolved emotional dynamics spill directly into operations. Now let's talk about solutions. If you want to eliminate favoritism, you need visibility. So ask yourself, are job expectations documented? Are performance reviews consistently held? Are promotions earned or assumed? Are difficult conversations avoided? That's a big one. And would your team describe your workplace as fair? Think about that. Would they describe it as fair? And here's the really important one. Can people challenge ideas safely? Because psychologically safe cultures outperform politically controlled cultures every single time. Another thing strong leaders do, they separate identity from role. So just because someone is your son, daughter, cousin, or longtime employee does not automatically make them the right fit for every position. And honestly, putting someone in a role that can't handle it is not kindness. It's pressure disguised as support. Healthy leadership asks, what does this business need to thrive? Not what helps me avoid discomfort today. Like, no, that distinction changes everything. So you might notice that the businesses with the healthiest cultures aren't perfect. They simply deal with reality faster. They don't avoid hard conversations. They don't build systems around guilt. And they don't confuse loyalty with competence. So here's the question: what truth have you been avoiding because confronting it feels uncomfortable? Because sometimes the breakthrough your business needs is hiding inside the conversation nobody wants to have.